Federal officials are warning all that rain this winter and spring is still not enough to save Lake Mead. So the YouTubers Sin City Outdoors have been documenting the progress on the lake. Take a look at these images from 5 months ago. You see how much of that pipe is exposed. And now let's take a look at what they found this week. Not that much higher, about maybe a foot or so. The feds say despite the snowpack, the lake levels are still projected to drop down much further unless drastic water cuts are made.
At one point, the lake was up there at that color line, and it's dropped massively.
We've told you about the adventures of the dad and son duo of Sin City Outdoors. Last year, their lake videos went viral, showing their drought discoveries like resurfaced boats and barrels. Days ago, the pair went back out to Lake Mead, eager to see if all the recent rain had helped.
What it looked like 5 months ago, so it has gone up a little bit, but it's only gone up about 2 feet.
It is touching water.
Progress is progress. People that watch my videos can also agree we were expecting a little bit more. There's a long way to go still.
Some may believe that this winter's snow and rain has saved the river, but that is not the case. We have a lot of hard work and difficult decisions ahead of us.
We're thankful for this winter's snow and rain. We've had other good precipitation years during this 23-year drought, and yet the downward trajectory of the system has worsened.
The Bureau of Reclamation says despite a good winter, projections still show a steep decline in Lake Mead levels unless more water use reductions are made. The feds will decide by this summer how further cuts will be implemented across Nevada, California, and Arizona. Conservation efforts have not been in vain. The Southern Nevada Water Authority tells Fox 5 restrictions across the Southwest over the past 15 years saved 80 feet of the water you see today.
I think the first time we came out here was still underwater.
Adrian Montero Jr. says he'll keep showing what he finds at Lake Mead to spur people to act.
I see a lot of people taking action to trying to lower the amount of water they use. I hope people take the right actions to do their part.
Now, there's a deadline approaching. In 43 days, Nevada and all the states have to come to some sort of compromise on how cuts should or should not be made and report back to the feds.